46-year-old divorced mom Leisel finds herself the recipient of mixed messages after 5 dates from 48-year-old Paul. But what Leisel doesn't realize is that she was giving Paul mixed messages towards the end. And we get into this and help Leisel unpack it on this episode, whereby she knows that she has some control and can set this right with 2 things for her to reset things, restart them, get them on track, and get her all that she desires and deserves. And if you have found yourself the recipient of a mixed messages man, you may want to check out if he truly fits the bill to be a mixed messages man, or could he be a prospective buyer? On the other end, could he be an ultimate consumer? Go to CoachPaulagrooms.com and click on relationship evaluations. Take the consumer versus buyer relationship test and find out where your man falls on the scale of being a consumer or a buyer for you in your specific relationship. But without further delay, let's get right to this interesting episode with Leisel, where you can learn from her missteps and level up to the complete commitment you totally deserve.
I feel like you've gotten me unstuck. I really needed that framework for going forward, and I feel like you gave that to me.
Whatever I've been doing hasn't been working. Might as well try a different strategy. Thanks to you, Paula. I'm glad I found you.
Thank you so much, Paula. I really do truly appreciate you. This was awesome.
Sick of sacrificing or settling in your romantic life? Welcome to Make Him Wonder with Coach Paula Grooms, where women struggling in real relationships ask the expert. Unscripted, unfiltered, understandable coaching conversations to help passionate women succeed in love.
Hi there, and welcome to Make Him Wonder. I'm your host, Coach Paula, a dating and relationship coach for women, licensed social worker, and author of the book, Why Won't He Commit? How a Man Decides to Make You the One. I coach you to find a Mr. Right, get an ex back, or grow an existing relationship with a man you truly desire, so you create the relationship of your dreams and level up to the complete commitment you totally deserve. Back from Season 3, Episode 24, my guest today is 46-year-old divorced single mom Leisel. When we last spoke about 2 years ago, Leisel had been dating 45-year-old Rob for about 3 months. But Rob wasn't ready, willing, or emotionally available for a real relationship, so Leisel ended things. Fast forward, and Leisel is in the early stages of dating 48-year-old Paul. Leisel says that Paul is amazing on dates, but doesn't connect in between them. On about date 5, they had sex, and Leisel was disappointed that this didn't change Paul's communication. Leisel has 2 children, and Paul is divorced with no kids. Leisel comes on Make Him Wonder to ask, can it work better with a guy who has no kids, or are they usually more selfish with their time? How long does it take to become exclusive with someone? Not official meaning boyfriend-girlfriend. And how can I make sure I am not repeating old dating patterns, especially after working on my self-concept for over a year? Great questions, so let's get into it by welcoming Leisel. Hi, Leisel.
Hi, Paula.
Good to have you back.
Yes, I'm glad to be here.
Yes, I'm glad you're here because it's been, my goodness, 2 years. You ended things with Rob. When did you meet Paul?
Oh, yes. I met Paul about 2.5 months ago.
Okay, and you say that the dates have been amazing? What do you mean?
Yes. I mean, each date has been, he planned them. He came to me, which was a big deal because the last guy would always want to meet halfway or have me come to him an hour away. Paul and I live an hour away, and he has come to me each date except for the last date. But each time on our date, I mean, we just connect. We find ourselves deep in conversation, just having a great, light and easy conversation, really. We have a lot in common. It just feels natural and easy. So on the dates, yeah, I can also feel our little chemistry that we have between each other. So yeah, I feel like our dates, we have fun, we enjoy each other's company. It just feels good.
Okay, so he came to you all of these times, and on the 5th time, you decided to have sex. what conversations, if any, did you have before that about the relationship or what he's looking for, anything like that? Did you?
Yes. So about date 3, he brought up relationship talk, I guess you could say. He was the one that said, hey, asked me, what are your thoughts on becoming exclusive? And I told him, yeah, I believe that's something that should naturally come up. He asked, do you think the guy should bring it up or the girl? I said, I believe the guy should bring it up. And he said, well, I just want you to know whenever you are ready for that, just let me know. So I wasn't sure how to respond to that then. I just kind of was like, okay, and then left it at that. So that has been the only type of relationship talk we've had.
Okay, so from his perspective, you had sex without solidifying exclusivity? You didn't have the talk, in other words?
No, yes, before sex. And that was kind of, that happened kind of unexpectedly. Like, obviously we didn't plan that. It just happened. And yes, we were not exclusive.
So likely this is part of why nothing has changed in terms of your communication.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
I think so.
I'll expound on it a little bit. You see, he brought it up. You didn't say, yeah, I'd like that. And I like having that. And the fact that you brought it up makes me feel really safe and secure. And then after that, you have sex. He knows your expectations.
Mm-hmm. Actually on the 4th date, I guess I should have said this, but on the 4th date, at the end of our date, I did actually bring this back up, and I did tell him, I said, hey, I thought about what you said last time on our date about when we talked about being exclusive, and I said, I think I'm ready to become exclusive with you and date only you, to which he replied, I haven't dated anyone in a while, but I'll let you know if I'm dating someone else. So that kind of threw me off because the previous day he said, hey, let me know, and then his answer to my telling him that was, it kind of threw me off, and I felt confused. So I didn't try anymore. I just said, okay, and we walked out, and the date was over.
Okay, so you did really well by what you said on the 4th date.
Uh-huh.
The misstep a little bit was the follow-through, because his response was not one that said, great, that's what I want too.
Mm-hmm.
So something changed between the 3rd and 4th date for him. And whether that was he maybe met someone else or has been online or is just playing the field, so to speak, or what have you, I don't know. But the best thing then would have been for you prior to having sex is to say, and you can, I want to make this clear, you can stop at any point in becoming intimate prior to deeds being done, so to speak. In other words, you're kissing, you're making out, it's getting hot and heavy, you're moving to that, some clothes are coming off, and you say, I want to slow this down a little because I really like it, but I know last time we talked about exclusive, and I don't want to go any further if we're not. So
okay, yeah, that's a good point.
So my saying that, why do you think that's important?
It shows the man my boundaries, and in a way it will test him if he will, I guess, respect my boundaries.
Yes, of course. And it has 2 other really important components to it. First, we'll talk about the boundaries and this very important component. You've heard me say on this podcast, and all the time I talk about it, if you keep this in your head, ladies, all the time, what you do with him, he thinks you could do, would do, or are doing with all men. So when you show, I don't have sex unless I've gotten exclusivity with you, he connotes it that that's how you are with all men. So when you don't, he's going to treat you as such. And this is likely why, Leisel, nothing has changed.
Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah.
So with that being said, nothing has changed. Could it ever change after making a mistake like that?
Yes. Is it possible? Absolutely. But it takes more work. It's harder on your end. as the woman.
Mm-hmm.
Setup is everything, and you set it up very well. But what can happen from the man's point of view is quite quid pro quo, meaning I take these certain actions and they are in an attempt to get me what I date for. And what men date for is so profound. They did an enormous study, I forget how many thousands of men, but it was huge. Survey, I should say. And it was to find out the main reason men date. And it should be so clear to all of us and come as no surprise. Men date for one reason and one reason only, for the possibilities of short-term sexual experiences.
I'm not surprised.
Exactly. Women date to find a mate. We date to have relationships. It's yin and yang, night and day, sun and rain, stop or go, black or white, male or female. They date with a completely different agenda. It is on us to guide them to the agenda, ours. And you did that quite well at the outset by what you did in guiding him. We're going to have dates, and I'm not just going to have sex with you. And you did that for 5 dates, or 4 ostensibly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much from our perspective. But here's his perspective. I'm going to do that until I conquer her, meaning I get my agenda. The most the man is interested in you is going to be before he has sex with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's opposite again, because it's yin and yang, night and day, sun and rain for us, meaning, yes, we like him, we can have the chemistry, we're all excited, blah, 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 but we become invested once we've had sex. So we need to guard that very heavily.
Mm-hmm. Because
it works to guide him to get deeper feelings. In other words, he started to get there by date 4. Would you want to become exclusive? What do you think would have happened if you said, yeah, I like you and I'd like to see where this goes? Yes, I would like that. What would have happened on date 4?
Had he said that?
Had you said that?
Oh, yeah, I mean, then I did say that in a way to him on date 4, but I was thrown off by his response.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. You did.
So yeah, we don't know if something happened in between date 3 and 4. Like you said, like maybe he was dating other people.
Right. So something happened for him.
Yes, he said, I said, I am ready to only date you. And he said, I haven't dated anyone in a while. I'll let you know if I'm dating others.
Okay, before I get to what I'm going to surmise about his response, and for the listeners, would you give me that response again?
Yes, he said, I haven't dated anyone in a while. I'll let you know if I'm dating others.
Okay, I have a question to ask before that. How long has he been divorced?
So I recently found out he actually is in the process of it becoming official. He's been separated for 2 years from his ex-wife. The papers are on the judge's desk, is what he told me. They just haven't been signed. So it's not official yet, but he said within the next couple of months he's expecting it to be official.
And how long was he married?
He was married 12 years, no children.
Mm-hmm. And he's 48.
48, yes.
There is so many ways that this can go, but I'm not hearing that he is ready for what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I mean by that. For 12 years, this man has been with one woman. So that means he was 36, correct?
That sounds about right.
So we don't know what his life was prior to that, but here's the difference also between men and women in a certain age group. I trust you're enjoying Make Him Wonder, and that you're getting a lot of helpful information for the life of love you desire and deserve. So if you're not part of the 80/20 Wonder Club yet, you need to be, because now Make Him Wonder is exclusive, a members-only club to listen to every episode, past, present, and future, in full, all ad-free. The 80/20 Wonder Club is a Make Him Wonder membership that gives you all of seasons 1, 2, and 3 in a categorized list by age and relationship status, and a multimedia library of my content, including my book, Relationship Evals, and my Mechanics of Men Mindset Manual, a weekly action step you can focus on to attract and keep the man of your dreams, and have him committing to you completely in the coming months. Make this the moment you start living as an 80-20 Wonder Woman, because love, like life, is best lived in 80-20. When you do 80% of what works with men, the 20% you don't won't much matter. Join the 80-20 Wonder Club by going to the 8020wonder.club. Don't miss out. Go now to the 8020wonder.club. You and your man will be glad you did. Men from 18 through their early 20s, even into mid-20s, men have little to no agency over their dating life, and they don't feel wanted by women. It's upside down for us. By the time we're 16, sometimes earlier for some women, 13, 14, you start getting inordinate interest from men. And it just escalates all through your early 20s. It escalates. Then, in the 30s, mid-30s, it starts flipping. Not that you don't get interest from men. You still do as a woman. But the men are starting to get interest as well. And the higher achieved, the taller, the better looking they are, the more interest they get. And it flips for them, and it feels great for them. Mm-hmm. For 12 of those years, he was kept from that interest. It might have come his way, but if he's a decent guy, he eschewed that and hopefully was faithful to his wife. Now, he is like a boy released into a candy store. Now, he has all that interest coming towards him, and he has a lot of mate value and dating value as that man at 48, just by the fact that he has been married, he can commit, so women know that, and he has no baggage of children.
Yes. In a way, as well, at being a single mom, I've never dated a man without kids, so it's kind of nice.
Right, because there's no juggling.
Mm-hmm.
But with everything good comes things that aren't so favorable.
Yes, I wonder, because he has a lot more time than I do, so he expects more time from me when I don't exactly have that. But also I see him set in certain ways, that he kind of is very set in his ways, that I wonder, too, that can he, right now, yeah, he's enjoying it, and can he open himself up to someone with kids that I don't know yet?
If you want the possibility of anything, you must see this as a very long-term marathon, not sprint. Mm-hmm. He's not ready to commit again. The ink hasn't even been put on the contract. Mm-hmm. Now, of course, there is always a possibility, because there are a few men who want to go from one completely secure, committed relationship to another, but they are more rare. It's like finding a woman who only wants to just sow her wild oats. Sure, they're out there, but typically that's a very short window for any woman. And the minute she meets somebody that fits the bill and she really likes, she's going to bond through time and sex. Men don't bond through time and sex at all. He is showing he's confused, and he's giving you mixed messages.
Yes, I'm receiving those as mixed messages.
Yes, but you also gave him a very big mixed message that I don't need to lock it down exclusivity, and this is a quid pro quo. You come to me once a week or whatever it was, take me out, and without that exclusivity and moving it to a real relationship, I'll have sex. How long ago was that date?
That was 2 weeks ago.
And what have you heard since?
So on that last date, he told me he would be traveling for the next 6 weeks, kind of in and out. And that following weekend, he was going to be leaving for a trip to visit family. And then he continued to tell me, and the next week I have this, and then the next week I'm going here, and the next week I'm going here. So I kind of took that as well, maybe, yeah, he's just not, wanting anything serious right now.
That in and of itself, why would you take his tangible things of, I have this, I have this, I have this, as not wanting anything serious?
I don't know. I guess I just thought, okay, he'll be gone for 6 weeks. Like, in that 6 weeks, this could die. Like, given how he communicates, even in between dates, which is not much, I just thought, okay, he's telling me he's not, wanting to pursue this. I don't know. I guess I took that as that, but maybe I'm wrong.
There's no need to take it as such. It's what you said to it. When he said that, which, tell me, when did he say it? Before or after sex?
He said it before, during dinner.
Okay. So we need to get into something for you that's really important.
Okay.
He's telling you on that 4th date that this is going to happen. And then he gives you the answer he does about the exclusivity. Then he comes the next week and takes you out. That's the 5th date. Am I right so far?
Correct.
So why, knowing he was going to be gone for 6 weeks, would you have sex?
I guess, again, I didn't plan. We didn't plan on it. And it just happened in the heat of the moment. And looking back, I realized I shouldn't have. It's just a weak moment for me.
Okay, here's what I believe was happening in the weak moment. It's your feeling, which is really coming from subconscious programming, that I better give him something to go on so that he comes back. I better do what is wanted of me if I'm going to be wanted in return.
Yeah, you're probably right. But then the next day, the next 2 days, I didn't hear from him. And then that following Friday is when he left for his trip. And before that morning he left, I texted him safe travels, and he liked it. And then I didn't hear from him for 4 days. So, yeah, I guess I just thought, okay, he's just not into me anymore.
So you see how upside down that is. You had to text him after you gave your pretty self to him as the man, and he didn't have the good grace to send you anything.
Yeah. I was pretty upset about it, and he did finally text like later that week, couple days, and just said, how has your week been going? And I ignored it. And then he texted like an hour later, because he was supposed to do a race with me this past weekend, and he said he wasn't going to be able to do it. He changed his plans, even though he had been planning this for 3 weeks, so I was really hurt by that. And I just ignored him. And then an hour later, he texted and said, sorry, I'm really sorry. And I just ignored it. And then the morning of my race, which was yesterday, he texted early and said, good luck on your race. And that's the last I've heard.
Okay, so we're going to dissect the not so good parts here and then look at the good part.
Okay.
There are 2 good parts. Let's dissect the not so good parts. Not so good, all that we talked about, because you see how in his mind things were set up. You have sex that night, rather than just when it gets hot and heavy, you stop and say, I really like you and I'd like to do this, but I'm going to stop things here. You're going to be gone for 6 weeks and I do want something exclusive like we had talked about, and maybe you want to be thinking about that while you're gone, and we can maybe see each other when you get back.
Mm-hmm.
That would have set you up as certainly valuable, and he would need to think, I'm not saying it would be easy, it would be very hard, but we have to know, as the woman in the equation, that if he doesn't come back after that, he's not that interested. If he did come back after that, then you would know something that certainly he has an interest, but again, we don't know if it's just sexual. So again, we go back to what he brought up, which is when he gets sexual again, does this mean that you'd like to be exclusive? Because through that time of doing that and his wondering, he could be falling. You must understand that wondering is equal to falling in love or loving.
Mm-hmm.
So then we exacerbate it by you being the one to reach out after he just disses you, not contacting you after your night together. And then he disses you again by just a thumbs up.
Yeah, I regret sending that text.
Okay, good, because that's a learning thing. Then, when he starts doing what you want more of him to do, you don't answer.
Should I have answered?
That's what we're going to look at, because what he is showing now is he has some regret. He's feeling bad about not doing the race with you and is trying to get your attention again.
Mm-hmm.
We can use that.
Okay.
So, give me again his last text.
Good luck on your race today.
And that was yesterday?
Yes, yesterday morning.
So if you want to try to set this right, you want to step in with that. So it would be answering him, and don't make it just bland.
I kind of did.
I thought you said you didn't answer it.
Oh, those were the texts before that. I didn't answer. But this one, I waited an hour, and then I just said thank you, and that was it.
Yeah, that doesn't help you.
Hmm.
How does that move the needle? What's he going to do with that?
I guess I thought I was just being polite, and I just needed to respond. And I didn't know exactly what to respond with, so I just said thank you.
So start to see how that is not enticing. It could show that you're just angry. It's just blah, and it puts a period on everything for him.
So how can I turn this around?
Not going to be easy. It's going to have to be with time, and then you have to start over.
Okay.
So I'm going to come at this two ways for listeners and for you, so that you also know, because everybody's probably questioning, well, what isn't planned? What could she have said besides thank you? There's a lot of ways we could go with it. Here's an option. Thanks. It was amazing. So many folks showed up. Would have been fun to run that with you. Some women could put something like this. I do a 7-minute mile. Bet I could have beat your time. LOL. You see, something that's gonna spark some interest to actually respond to you and get it going again.
Okay. So be more flirtatious.
Yeah, that's just open and fun. He cannot make any inference from the thank you. And some might be saying, well, doesn't that then just make him wonder? Here's where I circle back to what we were saying earlier. If this man was 26, didn't have that much interest or options of women, he might keep coming after you after the thank you. But the higher up you go, he's got plenty of options. Options and interest coming out the woodwork. And he has nothing invested in this. When you just say thank you, okay. He could be at the airport looking at a lot of pretty women walking back and forth. You see?
Yeah. What would have happened if I had ignored him? Would that make him wonder?
Yes. But I like, whenever possible, and when I'm working with someone, this is how we do it, so that you have the options. Sure, that's always a possibility, and that could make him wonder a little bit, but it's also showing that I'm maybe angry, done with you. Now, many men, especially ones that do well with the conquest or whatever, he'll come back and keep coming after you. Or because of his station in life, age, not ready for a real relationship because he's not even fully divorced, all manner of things will just be, okay, let this one go. This is the nuance of the work. It's not easy.
No, it's not.
This is so hard because of the modern dating world and understanding you vis-a-vis the man. This, we have to look at the man's, what is known as mate value, vis-a-vis your own.
Okay.
I did a live on that. Look for that on my YouTube channel. It's really important to take stock of that and be strategic when you are dating. You cannot just go with how you feel.
Okay. Even though I was kind of upset that he last minute said, oh, I'm not coming to the race. Like, in a way, I felt disappointed, but I wanted him to know that. But I guess I thought for a second, maybe if I ignore him, he'll think I'm disappointed. But instead, I just said thank you.
Well, you did ignore the first one.
Yes, I did.
Tell us what that was again.
He had asked, how is your week going? And I ignored it.
Okay, so you showed. Then what?
And then he had texted, it was something about the race. He decided he was going to help with another event, and he wasn't going to make it. He said sorry, and then I ignored that. That was the one I ignored.
Okay, stop here.
Mm-hmm.
You ignored that one, and then he came back. But instead of you then turning it around, you put a period on it in a way that just leaves him flat and not knowing.
But I was upset. I was disappointed.
This is what I mean about being strategic. You don't want to stay disappointed.
True.
Yeah, we have to turn things around whenever possible. This is really hard to navigate on your own.
Yes, and especially being a woman with dealing with feelings, and it's like I want to let him know I'm disappointed, but I shouldn't. I should just not say anything, right, about how I'm feeling.
You showed it by not answering the first two texts. He comes back a third time. Then you see, oh, because he could have just left it when he said sorry.
This is true.
And then done with her. But you made him wonder. He felt bad. We can use that. But then you left it flat. Like you said, even a better thing than leaving him flat is to make him wonder by not answering that.
Yeah.
You put the period on this.
How can I erase it?
Good question. I'm going to get to that. Wondering what I'm going to tell Leisel she needs to do to erase the period she put on her interaction with Paul? In the rest of this episode, I outline for Leisel all her options for connecting with Paul again, and the two main things she needs to focus on to have all that she wants with Paul. And because I want you to get the results you desire with your current or future Mr. Right, I invite you to check out the 80/20 Wonder Club, an exclusive membership-only club of the Make Him Wonder podcast, as that is the only way you'll be able to hear the rest of what I tell Leisel she needs to do that will help her get what she desires and deserves with Paul. An 80/20 Wonder Club membership gives you access to over 200 ad-free episodes, categorized by age and relationship status, plus all new episodes the moment they're formatted and ready to be aired. Unfiltered coaching conversations like this one, with all my advice and principles to have you succeeding in your romantic life. Your membership also includes my Making Magic with Men Mindset Manual video series and free access to talking to me anonymously on my weekly YouTube lives. Join monthly and cancel at any time, or save by committing to a 6 or 12-month membership. And not only will you save by committing to more, you'll receive a full coaching intensive experience where you'll be talking to me in a conversation like you just heard. You choose the date anytime during your 12 months, and I'll be answering all your questions on getting what you desire and deserve in your romantic life. Check it out at the 8020wonder.club and join us, as that is the only way you'll be able to hear the rest of what I tell Leisel and what she must know and do so things can be reset and restarted with Paul. Don't miss out on how to make your man wonder in the right way to have the divine right results you desire in your love life. Go now to THE8020WONDER.CLUB. That's the 8020wonder.club. You and your love will be glad you did.